Well, I don't know. You guys heard anything? When? Um, I don't. I've not paid much attention to the metrics because we're not using a proper podcasting platform. We're just using. Um, what do we got going on here? Archive.org. Make a lot of damn noise there. Make a lot of noise. Make a lot of damn noise there. Yeah, make a lot. No, I'm saying make a lot of damn noise. Yeah. There's no way we're at zero because the RSS. Yeah. What do we got going on here? Well, my system tray says I've got two instances of OBS running. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm using hardware acceleration on here now, which is not straightforward with an AMD card like it is with NVIDIA, believe it or not. Give me a minute. What the heck is Joe doing? That looks like a truck driver up there. Oh, hey, Dale. If you manage, we're a show with high standards. I can't just let anybody on there. We've not. I mean, anybody wants to come on, yeah. He's trying to use that headset that I couldn't get to work. I've got one just like that. I can't. I cannot get it to work with the audio. Well, he might be able to hear us, but it's not going to pick up his voice. Yeah. Yeah, I've got one just like Dale's got. What kind of phone you got, Dale? That might be why. I've got a Samsung Note 10 and I could not get my headset to. Ha ha. It's funny, Joe. You lifting those weights made me hungry for a peanut butter jelly sandwich. So, which one of which one of us is having a better day? Would it make you feel better? That's the question. Ooh, I can do that too. Something weird going on with your audio, Moss. Yeah, not now, but in a second ago, you were kind of. It's staticked out. I've never heard it do that before. It's great. We got no picture for you though. Yeah. Ooh, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, that's why our audio only version outperforms the YouTube every single time. I think a lot of the shows do that. I think I think a couple of Joe Ressington shows they'll use Jitsi or something like that to talk to each other, but then they're using Mumble to record to create the put the streams together and make the recording. I mean, it's fine like that. It works really well by itself. The thing with the Q2U. Uh, oh, is that your new toy? Oh, oh. I I think it's where you. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to have to disable his accounts, but no. I mean, I really, yeah. I'm not going to just outright accuse somebody of lying, but when he said he had a family emergency, I'm like, oh man, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, yeah. That I can respect that because I don't have the time to do it. Yeah, I jerked his chain about that a little while ago. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go do mintCast now. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Oh, that's rude. Yep, sure is. Oh, oh, I'm doing all right. I don't know. Pretzels. Yep. I think So I'm just gonna go upstairs and grab a jar of peanut butter and break it down and just eat it with a spoon. I don't either. No, we don't. They are very different things. I'm gonna hit somebody. Now that's there's where it gets a little nuanced. The difference between preserves and jam, and I think, um, but as far as I don't even buy jelly. I know a lot of people do, but you can't spread it. It's powdered peanut butter. What conceivable use? Do you mix that with your powdered milk? No, I can get with that. I can get with that all day. Uh, that's the same brand. Yeah, except one's English. Notice the English one's smaller. Look at this shit. You are so extreme. I I I debate the premise that it's unhealthy. Peanut butter was a gift. I can feel my chemistry maintaining right now. Are you challenging me or describe? Okay, yeah. Mm. Can you guys hear me? Oh, it's working now. Yeah, I'm on my phone. Well, Dale doing that with his phone and made me curious as to whether mine would work, and it's working now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like a terminal emulator, you mean, where you've got the It's got to be like 70s. So when was it? Oh wow.
Easy.
Because it wasn't very well documented. Because there weren't any friggin'
Yeah.
computers.
Now it's more watching interviews of people who have uploaded to YouTube and Vimeo and stuff like that. So I've been able to digest this stuff a little better. But a lot of it's just my computer stuff. And also, I had some health problems with my sinuses where I couldn't use
allergies been terrible this year.
my computer. And then I'm in the process, like when Solus dropped the ball and everything, I decided to switch back to Debian testing, and
Bill,
I get distracted. Like the stuff I have planned for when I go home next week, I want to install. I think it's Void with i3 or Void with OpenBox, and then I want to put Fedora and i3 on my laptop. I want to install TrueNAS Scale on my server.
we need to give Dale access to the show notes. Bill?
Okay.
Dale
was on there
_
once.
CDL at pm.me.
Yeah, or you can do my Gmail, whatever works best.
Not PM. Proton's good. It's a self-hosted server at Bill's.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Let me set you up an account.
Yes,
here.
mintCast is Google free at this point.
Oh, that's right. Because the last time I was on was like a couple years ago, when when everybody wanted to know about window managers, and I came on to discuss my love of window managers. I remember that episode. That was a long time ago.
Well, we have to give you the address to get there, and then he has to get you a login for it.
I'm working on that right now.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.
I just figured if we're going to have a topic, we
hold
better
on a second.
hold on for what?
Bill, he will get to it.
I know. I'm just talking that I wanted to make sure we got it set up. If we're going to have a topic, we got to empower our people, you know?
Okay. I'm going to send you the username and the password and everything on Discord here in a second.
Or you can send it to my email if you want.
I think it will send a like a welcome thing. A welcome message to your email. I'm trying to get the password set up. Okay, let me get that email.
Did anyone look at the John Cena video I posted on Off Topic?
No.
I need that email.
What's it about?
The email is Dale _ CDL at pm.me.
Yeah. I was eating. I saw the Senna video. I just haven't seen it yet.
Is he speaking Japanese again?
No, it is fabulous. It is the best video for Americans to watch. It's talking about patriotism, only it's talking about it as a real item, not as what the right-wingers call it.
So he's talking about America.
Oh, he's talking about America.
How about
All right,
America?
lads, I'm going to have to love you and leave you.
Okay.
Nice seeing you all. And yeah, next week.
Meeting next Saturday, show next Sunday.
Excellent. Nice to see you, Dale. Nice to see you guys.
Me too.
Bye, Majid.
Take care, chaps. Bye.
The Nextcloud account was created. I just saw the pop-up. I guess this means I'm going to have to get my desktop into a usable state.
Or you can use the Android app.
Well, I mean, I've got multiple. I have my phone, my tablet. I've got another desktop. I got 3 laptops, so I don't.
Dale's always buying computers off me.
Oh, I take 2 laptops on the road with me all the time.
I've got 3.
They've got very different uses.
It's a contest. Who can carry more laptops?
Well, the one I use to do the show editing is the more powerful, the Omen, and then the one I just use to mess around is the one with the no fan or anything.
Oh,
Yeah, we're waiting for Dale to get through Knoxville again so that we can I can sell him some more machines.
There's my work laptop.
Hey,
And
Respawn, how's it going?
And then there's
just chilling.
my Venue 11, which I use, and then there's my 1GX, which I use, and then there's my gaming laptop inside that I use, and then there's my XPS 13 that I've been allowing my daughter to use, but that I use. I think that's it for now. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I got you beat, Joe.
No, that's just 5 laptops in use. You don't want to talk about the stack of laptops that are not in use.
Well, then probably not. But see, when I get a stack of laptops, I sell them to Dale.
Well, I have one that needs a capacitor removed. So I should take it apart and just freaking do that. And then it'll be a halfway decent 17-inch laptop. And then one which needs the hard drive replaced and new power supply. And I think it needs the post replaced for where the power supply goes in. And then I have another one that I do not know what is wrong with it. That's also in there. And then I have one over there that I don't know why it's not powering up. That I need to take apart again. And I don't talk about the mini PCs, not the mini PCs, not the triple E's, but the Asus version of the triple E. What was that? Aspire 1. We don't talk about the Aspire 1s that need to go away.
Well,
Too many Aspire ones.
Huh?
Too many Aspire ones.
Yes, I loved the Aspire 1 for the longest time. It was a great little mini PC. The only problem is that it's 32-bit, and yeah, I'm done with it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the EPCs. Dale?
Yeah, I have a Dell Inspiron 13. I think I can't remember the model. I think it's a 73 or 7400 something.
I think it's a 7384.
Yeah, it's something like that. And then I've got
it was originally Josh Hawks.
Yeah, it's been passed around. But I got my System 76 Pangolin. And then I've got my T460 Lenovo. Those are the ones I take with me. And then at home, I've got 2 Ryzen 9 3900Xs. I've got a Intel i5 4660. I've got a J something 3445. I think it's a mini ITX. And I got a Xeon server.
That's an Atom processor, right? The 3445? The J3445?
I'm thinking I'm thinking it's actually an Intel, because I think I looked it up.
Intel made the Atom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it could be an Atom then, because I looked it up on arc.intel.com, and it's a J3440, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's an 8.
It's an Atom, and it's actually a decent processor for being a mobile processor, if I remember right.
Well, the J3455 is a Celeron.
Well, I could get into my Amazon and I could look up what I ordered, but I'm using my phone right now, so I'll have to look at it later. But I'm thinking it's a J. I think it's a J. I know it's a J3, but it's a J3440 or 445. But I was going to use it for pfSense.
I don't know if you can read that or not, but it's a Core M. So this is the M5. And then the other one that I have that is almost exactly like this has the i5, which I didn't even mention previously.
Well, I couldn't find the 3445, but the 3455 is a Celeron.
Okay, well, I can probably look here. You just won't be able to see me. I can look it up what I ordered because it was I bought it like 4 years ago. I can't remember, but yeah, as soon as I can get
Intel Celeron J3455.
yeah, because as soon as well, the plan A is to get close to Moss to be able to get the
Backup
laptop
machines.
and the tiny, and then plan B is going to be to ship it. But let me see if I can minimize this and get into my Amazon here. Let me see. Tap. Come on. Let's see. Your orders. And we're going to just type in ITX. Let's see if their search algorithm is smart enough to know that. Yes. All right. It is a... Okay, it's an ASRock J3455B ITX.
Yep, that's a Celeron.
Okay. Because I did look it up on Intel's ARC, and it does support AES-NI. What is that? AES-NI. So it should be able to be used on pfSense. Because if I remember correctly, I do have a dual Intel NIC card or a quad. I can't remember because I ran, what was it, Smooth Wall? Open Wall? It was some firewall project from like, what, 14, 15 years ago?
Mart Wall,
And
one of them.
And I used it on an old Pentium. But when we went to 100 megabit cable modem, it wasn't able to do the line speed. So I went back to using a regular router because I didn't have a faster computer to use at the time. But the other thing I was going to do is I was going to join the rest of you in the Pi-hole family.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna set up a VM. One of the things I'm going to put on the TrueNAS scale is I'm going to create a Debian VM running Pi-hole.
I've got it running on a Pi Zero. It's just so lightweight that the Zero handles everything in the house, actually. Because DNS...
I have a Pi... Yeah, because I have a Pi 3B Plus that my friend gave me back because he was using it for a Mumble thing.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
And then he gave it back because he switched from Mumble and started using Zoom.
You can...
And then... So I'm giving it back to him, but I'm going to put Pi-hole on it for him.
Oh. Yeah, Pi-hole works great on a 3. You can technically get 64-bit version of Raspberry Pi OS working on that, but I don't know what kind of performance advantage you would get with only 1 gig of RAM.
Well, guys, I'm out of fluid, so I guess I'm going to go for now.
Getting it on the Pi 1? You can get it on the Pi 1.
What's that? What, Pi-hole?
Pi-hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've got it running on a Pi Zero, not the new one either, the
original one.
Yeah, and it runs just fine. I mean, I wouldn't put anything else on it.
We had to get the USB Ethernet card.
Yeah, well, I've got like a little USB Ethernet adapter thing that I use, and it works just fine. DNS is not a huge deal. See you later, Moss.
Later.
I'm up.
It's kind of cool to sit there and watch. I don't actually have the graphical thing installed on mine, so I can't look at the little chart where it shows you the thousands of things that get blocked every every hour on each IP address. But it's actually kind of interesting, all the things that show up. Even Nextcloud has stuff that it Pi-hole was blocking initially, and then I changed it over to start allowing it. What do we got going on here?
I want to use it. I saw a YouTube video where you can actually use the Pi-hole for local DNS. You can actually type in
Well, you can have it
canonical
through your
names
DNS.
and then pointer records. So I want to do that because I was using host files, but I want to have something more centrally managed. So I was going to set that up.
Yeah, I've not used it for that, but I did see where that was available as an option.
I was watching network. I was watching when Moss told me that you were online. I was in the middle of watching Network Chuck, and what is the title? Your home router sucks. Use PFS. Use PFSense instead. And he's actually installing it from scratch. He's setting it up for DDNS, port forwarding, and routing everything through PIA.
I have not tried using PIA.
He said he did PIA and Mulvad. He said he uses both of them. But I don't use any of them.
DDNS. I was using that until I started hosting all this other stuff for the show, and then that's when I realized I'm going to have to get a static IP to make it more reliable.
There's also a company called AdBlock has a DNS, and it's supposed to act similar to the Pi-hole.
I've heard of it.
I've used it a couple of times.
Yeah, let's see, who was talking about that? I think Will was talking about that on Late Night Linux. He put one up against the other, testing them, and he seemed to like Pi-hole better.
I'm sure. I mean, when you're setting it up yourself, you can also do crazy things like, add things to it. Pick and choose. But when you're using someone else's DNS, they get to update.
My friend told me about there's a web-based one, and you just basically point your DNS to it, and there's a control panel, and it's sort of like a Pi-hole, but you don't run anything. It's all run in the cloud, but I can't remember the name of it.
There's probably a few of those out there, actually. I mean, you could, in theory, anybody could set up a Pi-hole and then make it internet facing, and then just let other people.
Well, here's a fun one. You can set up a VPN to your home network, and then have a Pi-hole set up there, and then just.
That's what I do on the road. Yeah, I wire guard back into the home network here, and then it uses Pi-hole, and then I block all the nasty stuff on the road by doing that. I was using that for my Jellyfin too until I went ahead and got a domain for that and just made it internet facing.
Did you end up listening to all of that YouTube channel that I sent you?
Which one? The
second one that I sent you.
Yeah, I think I did. And a lot of these, I mean, some of this, you talking about the guy with the overweight partner. I have not done team driving since the 90s. I don't think I could pull it off, but I remember this guy who used to, I think I told this story, he used to get these whole pies, and he would put them on his belly and dig out of the center of them when he's going down the road, and he tore up so many steering wheels out of his truck. I don't know how he was getting in the back because in those days we had Aerodyne Kenworths that had like you got about this much space in between the armrests on the seats, and I don't know how he was getting back in the bunk, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just fall asleep right there where he was at. But he was about 500 pounds, and you wouldn't want to get in his truck.
I saw a guy a few years ago that was getting into a Volvo, and he went to use the grab hand on the inside of the door well, and the truck basically went like this.
Yeah. I'll sit and laugh. Right, those Volvos got the handles on the inside of the door, one on each side.
I remember I was working for this small company back, it had been 15 years ago or so. And we went to these off-the-wall places, like where you'd hear banjos in Alabama.
Oh, my.
And, yeah, I was like off these county roads where I was as wide as the truck. I mean, I was wide. My truck was as wide as, as the road. And I remember they had this, it wasn't Com Data, it was TCH, I think it was fuel card or something.
Yeah, I had those once.
And we could get fuel at this was back when Pilot and Flying J were separated, and TA and Petro were separated. And Pilot, the Flying J was the one that wouldn't take them, but and they also wouldn't take EFS. They would only take Com Data. But anyways, I called them up, and I said, there was no fuel solution, nothing. You just buy fuel when you need fuel. And they just said, just go ahead and buy it. This is before the fuel prices went up and everything that we have now, but this is back when
cost less
when
than regular gas.
This is like when you could idle the truck for 7 days and the company wouldn't care. But anyways, so I call them up and I go, I need to scale this load and everything for when I get on the interstate. And so they told me about this place to go to, and there was this place in like Alabama, and it had like the Airphone. It was a certified scale by, I can't remember the name of the company. It was a known scale company, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head. And they had an Airphone, and I pick up the phone, and they're used to doing bulk for like trees and coal and stuff like that. So they want to do like bulk weight and that. Well, I get on the phone and she's like, and I didn't realize the reason why she asked me this question, but she said, dear, do you want to be on the truck while I'm weighing you? Me being sarcastic and that. I say, ma'am, if my scrawny ass makes this truck overweight, then I've got bigger problems. And when I walk in there to pay for the scale ticket, she looks at me and she's like, damn, sweetheart, you turned sideways. I wouldn't be able to see you.
I know exactly what you mean.
I had.
Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to laugh at that. My bad.
I had to get fuel a day later or whatever, and I'm still in Alabama. I think it was later that day or whatever. I can't remember what the whole thing was, because sometimes I felt like I was spending a week there and only being there for 2 days, because you're on these tiny little roads that you can only go like 30 miles an hour, or you end up in a ditch, especially with a 70-foot vehicle.
Go around a corner and your tandem's a back air on one side of the road, hanging off the side, and your skiers are over here on the other side.
So I get to this place.
Roads, you know those roads out in northwest Iowa that are about 4.5 feet wide?
Yeah, but
That's
at least
where I
you're flat out there.
That's true. Nice and
there's
flat.
some farm to market roads down in the central part of Texas that are like.
Oh, we missed the end cap.
Like if you go west of Austin, there are some pretty pretty small FM roads there. But I was in Alabama, and there's this big pull-off area on the side of this highway. And so I pull off, and I'm off on the shoulder, and I walk in there. Here's this guy who looks like Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Of
He
course
comes
there
out and
was.
sees my truck. He's like, "You need fuel?" I go, "Yes, sir." He says, "Well, you need to drop your trailer right there, and then you come over to this pump." And there was one pump. There was like 2 gasoline ones over here, and then there was a single diesel pump. No awning, nothing, just a pump sticking out of the ground. And he says, "What we're going to do, you drop your trailer over there, you're going to drive over here, and then you're going to pull up. I'm going to fill up your left side. Then you're going to back up, turn around. Then I'm going to fill up your other side." Yeah, I don't
Wow.
miss.
Yeah.
I don't miss that. that doing that. I like being on roads where. Well, of course, I was on one last week, picking up a load of timber that Belden used to make wire spools. And I was up in the border of Tennessee and Kentucky, about an hour and a half east of Nashville.
The biggest I ever drove was 10-ton truck, 10-ton trailer.
I'm.
But people were shooting at you, so that's a difference.
Well, yeah. On occasion, they were shooting at me.
Unless you're driving through Detroit.
There's nobody
Oh,
left
yeah.
in Detroit to shoot at you.
Oh, anymore. Or Chicago. Here's a quick story about Chicago. This was like 2007, and I'd only been driving for like 4 years. And I picked up a load from, I think, International Paper or Georgia Pacific or something. They had a warehouse near Halstead. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, if you ever went up there,
Yeah.
Bill.
Oh yeah.
Like, up there, Route 1 and like East 130th, East 150th, around that area. So I get this load of paper that is a warehouse, and they manufacture it up by Green Bay and they bring it down. I don't know what the whole deal was, but I picked up stuff up in Green Bay myself. But anyways, so I pick up this load, and I'm going through there, and they've got some of these bridges that are tall enough, but only one truck can go through at a time, but 2 cars can go through at a time. So I'm going through there, and I'm going down, and I can't remember. I'm on like East 130th or something like that. And I'm trying to get back to, I'm thinking I wanted to get back and get on US 6, or if I wanted to get on US 20, I was trying to get back to I-94 to get onto the interstate. Whatever I was doing. Going along, and I'm getting out of this neighborhood. And I get to whatever that route is. Like I said, I can't remember if it was US 6 or US 20. And it's a T intersection. And the long story short, I get up there, and I'm like looking again, because even if you're turning, it doesn't mean the traffic's going to stop in Chicago.
Oh, no.
It just means that they're going to have to go up on the sidewalk to get around you.
And they will.
So, yeah, and so I get up there, and all of a sudden, I hear this, and I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, what's this? An SUV blows by me, doesn't realize it's a T intersection, whips the wheel, and tumbles into this person's front yard. Upside down, wheels up. Then I hear Chicago PD coming. And they're running up, and then they pull up next to me. There is 2 full-growns. For the uninitiated, those are SUV patrol cars.
Well, they're state
Pull
troopers.
up
Full grown is
and block, and they're I'm not on camera. They're blocking access. You know, the SUV's pulling like this, They got their doors open. SWAT comes like 10 minutes later in this armored personnel like vehicle. And I'm like, I'm sitting there buckled in. Cars next to me. They're using their doors for protection. And they're like, step out of the vehicle with your hands up. And I had my window rolled down. This is summertime. And this officer on the other, because they were in 2-man units, was right below me. And I'm like, sir, officer. He looks up at me. And I said, am I in any danger? He looks up at me. He says, get down. Down where? On the floor? He said, he yells over to the other officer. He says, what do we do with the driver? He looks over at me because they were concentrating on what they were doing. They, for some reason, didn't see a 70-foot vehicle parked next to them. And I'm like, they said, get out of the truck, hide behind your trailer behind the axles. So I run back behind my trailer. I'm stooped down behind the...
1 second, Dale. Jackie's probably going to want to say hi to Nate.
Hey, Nate. I hope you're having a good weekend. Hello?
He unmuted.
Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, he unmuted,
okay.
but it's not working. Whatever he's got.
Yeah. Seems so.
Okay. No, go ahead.
All right. Well, pretty much, it was almost pretty much at the end. So I'm like hunched down behind the mud flap, and I'm peeking out, and the guy kicks the door up. No. That's right. It wasn't wheels up. The SUV was on its side with the wheels facing me. That's what it was. And he kicks. I see this big boot kicking passenger door up, and I'm like, and all of a sudden I see him come out, and he's like, and I'm like, holy crap! The officers dive down, and they're shooting back at him. Then that APC thing I told you about, it shows up after like 10, 15 minutes later. And they're like, we have you surrounded, come out, and they start shooting again. Well, they had, I'm thinking it was like a 30 cal on this APC. They pretty much just strafed where the SUV was. Then the guys got out. They're walking towards the patrol car. They're patting them down.
Well,
they're doing it, and
so
then
nobody got waxed.
Yeah, the full-growns drive off. Paddy wagon comes, picks them up, and I'm still hiding behind the trailer. So I'm like crawling under the trailer, and this is before we had the trailer skirts, so I can see everything. Those trailer skirts we got now for aerodynamics. But so finally, I get up to the officer, and they're putting their stuff away in the trunk. And I look at them, I go, is this normal? Because I had just started going into Chicago.
It's Tuesday in Chicago.
Yeah, I hadn't been, and I'm used to it now, but this is when I was this, green. And the one officer says, during the day, yeah. 9 o'clock at night, no. They were just like, really?
You should definitely listen to Kevin in a Big Rig.
It was
And that other one
interesting.
whose name I can't remember right now.
Yeah, he's come up with these stories of people that are like forced to run team. I couldn't even imagine having to do a job like that now. I did team when I was younger with a friend of
You know who
mine.
brings these to me?
Huh?
My middle child, my daughter, Tala.
I would.
She
My
brings them to
friends.
me, I listen to them, and then I bring them to you, the good ones.
Yeah, and they're fantastic. That one right there was. I mean, I kept me at first. It's real hard to keep my attention on things like that, because I'm like thinking about so many different things all the time. But that actually did a good job of keeping my attention because I just kept thinking, "Oh my God, if that was me, I would have." I would have either kicked him out of the truck going down the road, or else he would have went inside, and I would have took off without him. I did that to a guy once. Um, but that's the difference between somebody just starting off in their career and somebody like me that's been at it for 30 years. I just wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to handle
Well,
other people's.
I invited Nate on because I know earlier we were busy talking crap about, vegetarians and vegans.
Oh. You know what? I'm going to
So
be
I didn't
honest
know
with
if we
you.
wanted to go back to that.
If somebody was to, I'll tell you what, I would live vegan if somebody cooked like that for me all the time and served it to me. I'm
As
not
long as it
gonna
was
go.
somebody else cooking it.
Yeah, because I am more than happy to off to outsource that whole thing. But until that happens, it is what it is. But there you go. I see that was
How's
enough to bring
Houston?
him on camera.
Welcome, Nate.
But you
Nate is an
mentioned
Arch
the
user, and he does like to tell you about it.
Oh, Arch, yes, that's like the only distro. I am this close to wiping out Mint. The only thing that's keeping me from doing it is, wanting to be able to talk about Mint on the show because it drives me nuts.
You can run something else and still talk about Linux.
I know, but it's kind of this. I like the way Cinnamon works on Mint, and I'm not sure.
Like I'm running Ubuntu Mate on this. It works really well.
I have gotten
Yeah.
4 Flatpak updates for Telegram just today. What's going on over at Telegram?
But anyways, Nate, how's Houston? Why are you in Houston? Anybody hear him?
No, he's got no audio whatsoever.
Yeah, no audio.
Well, I got to get out of here, kids. So I'm gonna have
Same.
to. I'm gonna have to shut the stream down. Because I gotta go do family stuff. But we're gonna next.
We've been at it for a while anyway.
We're gonna do this thing with Dale next weekend. Then is that?
This?
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the geo.
Yeah, he's going to talk about those articles that he's writing.
And yeah, Dale, I'd love to have you on Three Fat Truckers sometime, just so that there's 2 nerds on there for once to go up against those 2 knuckleheads. Because guys like
he had a pretty good showing. He had a pretty good showing there at Nats.
Oh man, that was transformative. I can't even.
And Nats is huge.
I've never been there. All these years I've been driving, I've never been there. I didn't get to see much of it, but
I've been by where they host it because I delivered to a place near there.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, "What's that building?" And he said, "That's the convention center." And I go, "Oh." And he says, "You heard of Mats?" And I go, "Yeah." And he says, "That's where they hold Mats at." And I'm like, "Oh."
They wouldn't be able to do it anywhere else because well, okay, we were there from Wednesday. We set up Wednesday, and then we were there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And there would have been no way to get through the whole thing. It's just, the place is massive. We got another show coming up in Fort Wayne in July, by the way, that we're going to be at. The Crossroads of America.
I want to make a Gonna make a quick comment before you go about the teaming. I've only had to do that 2 times. That's for training.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago when I had my trainer. He had been driving for like 30 years, and I was going to be his last student because he was going to retire. And he had an agreement with me. He says, I just have one rule. Don't kill me because I'm retiring after you. And he was kind of funny. He would tell me the things that his students would do as I'm doing the thing that they did. Like, we were going 40 coming into Knoxville, and they have the 640 loop where it goes up, like the ramp goes down, over, up, and that way. As new driver coming down, he's telling me this story about how he was laying in the bunk, reading a magazine, watching him drive, because he wouldn't sleep while you were driving. And I could sleep while he was driving, but whatever. And he was sitting there, and the trainee took the turn too quickly and rolled the truck. He's telling me this as I'm driving, and I look over at Chuck and I go, Chuck, do you really think this is the appropriate time to be telling me this? And he's like, well, I thought it was kind of applicable.
Yeah. Well,
you could have just said slow down.
Big rig stories.
Yeah.
Good one, good one.
Yeah, you could have just said.
One of those Kevin in a Big Rig stories where the guy actually tried to disable the Jake brake there.
Yeah, that would have.
Like, no, people shouldn't use it.
I would have stomped a mud hole in that guy's ass for doing that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
What microphone am I using?
I don't know, but it sounds like you're in a bathroom or something. We've gotten used to that, though. Tap on it real quick.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay.
You got too many microphones.
It automatically, yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 microphones. And it automatically switched one of the times or something.
Yeah, Bill, the second time was when I came to this company because their insurance company wouldn't let me drive even though I had, let's say I had 16 years experience at that point, because when they fill out the form when you leave the company of the equipment that was operated, I drove a box truck and day cab. But the box truck was my primary vehicle, but I would sinuses and allergies.
Yeah, you look like you're suffering.
No, it picks up when I'm talking because I'm breathing in more air and all that, and I ran out of my stuff, so I've been suffering.
Ooh.
But I'm going home Monday, so I'll be all right. But long story short, they put on their primary vehicle of use, which was fair. I did drive the box truck, but I also did the day cab to cover for vacations, days off, and stuff like that. Their insurance company looked at that and said, we need him to go with a trainer for 150 hours to be recertified for a semi. And I'm like, I drove a day cab. And they said, well, they didn't list it as your primary vehicle. So they gave me this trainer. And it really wasn't really like training, because I had 16 years experience and he had 4. Basically, after the first week, I got my legs under me, and pretty much we just teamed.
Yeah.
And he
I have
volunteered
a similar story to that.
to sleep.
I'll tell you some other time because I do have to get out of here. But yeah, that kind of similar thing happened to me. Anyway, I'm out, kids. We'll catch you later. You want to pick up the stream, Joe, or you just want to let it be?
I'm leaving too.
No, I think we're good. I think we're just close it out. I mean, it's almost 4 o'clock, so
yeah, it's almost 10 p.m. here.
Do you need me to put the links to the articles in the Discord or Telegram or somewhere so that you can read through them to
If
get
you
an
want
idea?
to-
Yeah, it'd be a good idea. That way we could have some.
Well, let's post them
preparation.
put them in the show notes. The show notes should be started. If not,
Yeah,
Bill can
411.
open them up real quick using the templates. Yeah.
Yep. They're
Okay, yeah, because we're talking like 20 years of history.
there. Right on.
Yeah, because I want them in the show notes. That way, after the show, when we post the show notes, it's there. People can get to them. All that jazz.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you next week then.